Joining us. Good morning to you, a good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Maiyegun live. And as you are joining, remember, after reading the caption of the broadcast, please do read the description of the broadcast as well. Sorry about that. So I'll take that again. After reading the caption of the broadcast, take your time, read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it, share it, to invite your friends and your not so friendly friends and tell them to join us. Maiyegun is live. I do not know how much of their BS Nigeria media fed you with today. How many social media reactions followed what happened in court today? But on Maiyegun's diary Politico, you stand a chance of not suffering a fool twice. That is why this place is called a diary. We keep record, and it is also very difficult for the Templars here to fall for this, what they call the Stockholm Syndrome. The trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a complete misfire, which Nigeria government and those interested parties have currently reached a deadlock. But shamefully, yeah, they are unable to admit and let him go. They have, cooked so many narratives in your media. And I don't think whatever I say will change the mind of some of you. And that is why I will keep reminding you that from my own observation, Nnamdi Kanu doesn't need to prove anything anymore in your court. Whatever is playing out in that Nigerian court right now is a pure mockery. The mockery of your judicial system that they have abused again and again. Nnamdi Kanu was discharged and acquitted by the Nigerian appeal courts, a judgment that ordinarily should be immediately. Nnamdi Kanu was not supposed to spend another hour in that their court or custody when the court freed him in 2022. But the same people that rejected their own court's judgment approached the Supreme Court to get a stay of execution, which means the release of Nnamdi Kanu will no longer be, the judgment that released him will no longer be honored until the Supreme Court decides. Now, the Supreme Court that was supposed to be unbiased as the highest court in the land, it was supposed to at least interpret the law as it should be, also voted because of this vested interest. What is the sin of Nnamdi Kanu? A man that saw tomorrow, a supposed Nostradamus of this generation, a man that many actually love to hate. He saw whatever it is today that is now dividing and tearing Nigeria apart. And when he was screaming, they said he was an alarmist. In fact, they labeled him an anarchist. In all of that, in the last 10 years, Nnamdi Kanu has been in their detention in and out. However, when the Supreme Court said they should go and retry Nnamdi Kanu, they made one very huge mistake. Because primarily, right, by the state of how Nnamdi Kanu got kidnapped from Kenya back to Nigeria, that arrangement in the face of the law has nullified every other step that Nigeria might want to take. And an average judge in Nigeria is expected to know this, just like an average lawyer. But hey, they ignored all of that. They decided to recook, new charges, 7 new charges. Now, for a reminder, those of you who are interested in this, okay, just for a reminder, when they charged Nnamdi Kanu to their court in 2021, when they kidnapped him from Kenya, they charged him for treason. That is attempting to break up Nigeria or to usurp the federal government power of Nigeria. They accused him of calling Bokwari a clone, Jubril al-Sudani, and so many other nonsense they put in there. Now, when it was time for them to present their evidence, they were they're like downloading and cutting Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast online. You would expect them to have at least presented those who would claim that Nnamdi Kanu gave them this and gave them that or ordered them to do this or that. They didn't present any of that. The argument of Nnamdi Kanu in defense of their court at the time, the appeal court, was the same. Listen, I don't know the script you are acting, but if you are actually really a judge, if you guys are indeed lawyers and you are accustomed to your own laws, this whole thing is a charade. You are supposed to advise your government, right? That it is a waste of time, mockery of the judiciary. But I'm so ashamed of you that you are all playing along. You're all presenting this to the public like you actually have a case. So the appeal court dismissed the case, discharged, and acquitted Nnamdi Kanu in 2022 based on this. So they went to Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, okay, yeah, they should go and retry it. But however, the revocation of Nnamdi Kanu's bail, right, was wrong. Meaning, even if Nnamdi Kanu is going to go to any court in Nigeria today, Nnamdi Kanu should be going to the court from his house. Mind you, this was the judgment of their own appeal court that Nnamdi Kanu had no case to answer. But if their Supreme Court says, oh, yeah, he's got a case to answer, but revocation of his bail was wrong because they attempted to kill him. He did not jump bail. So what that means is that if Nnamdi Kanu should be in any court case today, like they are holding Charade down there, right? Nnamdi Kanu will be going to court from his house, not from any DSS detention or anywhere he's being tortured. No. He would have access to his own legal team. They will advise him accordingly. He will put up a defense as he should be. But guess what? They denied him access to his own case file. They didn't allow his own lawyers to bring anything to his detention center. If he's having conversation with his own legal team, the DSS will be hanging around and they cannot jot anything down. They can't write anything down and say, okay, please, I want you to do this as my legal team. They couldn't. This was this game all this while, right? So when Nnamdi Kanu now said, I'm going to defend myself, right? I'm going to defend myself. And based on what you have actually shown me so far in this court, because A, you are no longer charging me for treason. You are now charging me for terrorism, which is completely different from what you took to your Supreme Court. So this is like a new thing. You have deviated from everything that your Supreme Court said. Okay, fine. If that should be the case, can I see my case file? Because at least I'm going to defend myself. And I want to see what this is all about. Because I've seen this whole drama in this new retrial, right? So when they gave Nnamdi Kanu, finally gave him his case file, he read through it and it was like, damn. So it's true. Like these guys are so dumb that they want to either jail him or kill him illegally. It doesn't matter. They will get a judge to pronounce that. So Nnamdi Kanu has nothing to prove to them. And he said, listen, I would have called my witnesses based on what you have presented as your evidence so far in this court. That's why he said he would call over 20 people, remember, as witnesses, right? But wait, are you guys so dumb that you are charging me for treason based on a repealed law, your own law that is no longer effective? What does your law say about that? That if you are charging somebody, it must be relative to an existing law, because that law will tell you what exactly will be your punishment if you are convicted. Yeah, they'll tell you that under section so and so, it says if you are convicted of these charges under this law, under this section, you will serve so years in jail or you have to die. Well, how could you be charging me in 2025 for treason based on the law? Charging me for terrorism in 2025 based on the law that you have repealed. 2013 law. That was like 12 years ago. Like you've repealed it. On the new one you put in place. And the time you said I committed a crime that you are charging me for means even your new law can't try me. The old law that you are presenting to this court that this judge is saying, like, Judge, did you know about this? They are trying me in your court. Like, if you convict me now, what will be my punishment? Do you understand? Like, okay, fine. If you find me guilty of anything that these guys want you to find me guilty of, right? What will be my punishment? And under what law would you say, I hereby find you, Nnamdi Kanu, guilty? And you are hereby sentenced to under what law? This is the base of what happened in court today. And on this program this evening, I will do my best and take you through every section of that particular law. I'll leave you with the rest. And like I said, the argument for whether Nnamdi Kanu is guilty of their charges or not, right, is not going to be determined here. Here is just to expose to you that sometimes when they try to make things that, when they want to twist things for you, right, all you need to do is to pay attention. Their media is so very much instrumental in all of this. Even their own media would not actually report the true news. Today, Nnamdi Kanu burst out, Nnamdi Kanu exploded, Nnamdi Kanu screamed in court. It's all about the headlines. No substance, no nothing. And of course, that's where we're going to start from this evening, right? Meanwhile, I think we should start like this. Before the court session today, right, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, right, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, to notify him of what is going on and what they are doing to him in Nigeria. And a very quick one, brethren, just a quick one. The woman who is believed to be the chief of staff to Donald Trump, right, also happened to be the former IPOB United States American lobbyist. They have been those who have been working to counter all of the lies, the propagandas, and even the money Nigeria was spending to get America Congress to prescribe IPOB. Now, the lady is the chief of staff to Trump right now, and Tinubu's government, the APC, they are also screaming that the redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular interest as a very massive input of the IPOB on this. A different conversation, by the way. So yeah, Nnamdi Kanu wrote Trump, and I would like to read the content because this is the base of our chat tonight. And to our new members on the Temple of Truth, please don't find this a little bit like too long or boring, okay? Maiyegun's diary Politico is mainly like, explanatory, like I could be repetitive until I feel like the message is passed. Not like repetitive, all right? So the reason why you are watching this is to have a very much broader, like a broader kind of like, perspective of what is going on. So that when you see through their propagandas and where they are headed, you are never going to follow them. And it is very important, right? So here, I'll read the content out as fast as possible, and then I will go on again, right? Here, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, on his behalf by the Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, one of them, Aloy Jimako, on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's behalf. So he put it as that, Your Excellency, that is Donald J. Trump, I extend warm greetings to you in the name of the Judeo-Christian faith and values we both hold dear. As a practicing Jew and a believer in the Judeo-Christian heritage that shaped Western civilization, I was honored to attend your campaign event in Des Moines, Iowa, in January 2020. Nnamdi Kanu was there, truly. Your bold declaration on October 31st, 2025, that the United States is prepared to act militarily and court aid if Nigeria failed to protect its Christian population, has ignited hope in the hearts of millions who have been abandoned by the world. You have seen the truth. Christians in Nigeria face an existential threat. I write to you now to reveal that this genocide is not confined to the north. It has metastasized into the Igbo heartland, where Judeo-Christians are being systematically exterminated under the guise of counter-terrorism. I am Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, a peaceful, non-violent civil rights movement rooted in Judeo-Christian principles. Since 2015, I have survived 4 documented assassination attempts by the Nigerian state. On 20th June 2021, I was forcibly abducted from Kenya in an extraordinary rendition operation, an act that violated Kenya and international law, as condemned by a Kenyan High Court ruling, petition number E282 rather, of 2021. Despite this ruling, I was illegally transported to Nigeria and thrown into solitary detention in Abuja without a valid subsisting charge, and for the sole crime of defending my people's right to life, faith, and self-determination under international law. On 13th October 2022, the Court of Appeal in Abuja, the case number CA/ABJ/CR/625/2022, discharged and acquitted me of all charges, ruling that my rendition was illegal, unconstitutional, and a gross violation of international law. The court ordered my immediate and unconditional release. Yet I remain in solitary detention over 1,596 days since my abduction. The Nigerian government defied its own judiciary, refusing to release me as court ordered. I was never released, so there was no rearrest, only continued unlawful imprisonment in blatant violation of constitutionally protected double jeopardy safeguard under Section 36, subsection 9 of the 1999 Constitution and Article 7, subsection 2 of the African Charter. The United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, opinion number 252022, declared my continued imprisonment arbitrary, unlawful, and politically motivated. This is not justice. This is state capture of the rule of law to silence a Judeo-Christian voice, a hidden genocide against Judeo-Christians in eastern Nigeria. The same extremist-backed forces you have condemned in the north, Boko Haram, ISWAP, and Fulani militias, operate with state complicity in the southeast and Igbo-speaking territories of Benue, Kogi, and Delta. But here, the Nigerian military itself is the primary perpetrator, shielded by a false narrative that blames victims. These atrocities are irrefutably documented. 1. Unkpo Biafra Heroes Day Massacre, 30th of May 2016. National High School Aba Massacre, 9th of February 2016. Operation Python Dance 2, 12th to 14th of September 2017. Obigbo Massacre, October 2020. Right? Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt Iguacha Trump Solidarity Rally, 20th January 2017. IPOB eyewitness accounts and local reports. Hundreds of Judeo-Christian supporters gunned down by soldiers under Islamist sympathetic command. They came to celebrate your inauguration. They were met with bullets. Now, the architect of these crimes, Lieutenant General Tuko Yusuf Buratai, former Chief of Army Staff, in 2021, President Buhari appointed him ambassador to Benin, granting him diplomatic immunity to evade ICC prosecution. This is state-sponsored impunity on genocidal scale. Weaponization of insecurity to demonize IPOB. Since my illegal rendition, Nigeria has, one, declared IPOB terrorist organization despite zero evidence of violence, confirmed by U.S. State Department 2021, orchestrated unknown gunmen, attacks using state-backed militias, then blamed IPOB, killed over 2,000 Igbo youth in counter-terrorism operations, Inter-Society 2021-2025 report. This is Rwanda's playbook. Create chaos, blame the victims, justify extermination. A call to you, President Trump. You said America will act. Now is the moment. I respectfully urge you, 1. Launch a US-led independent inquiry into state-sponsored massacres of Judeo-Christians in eastern Nigeria, with full access to mass graves, military logs, and survivor testimonies. Convene emergency congressional hearings on the Igbo Christian genocide, featuring the 13th October 2022 Court of Appeal judgment discharging me, disobeyed by the government. United Nations Kalama's report on Aba and Opo, Nigeria's defiance of its own constitution, impose targeted Magnitsky Act sanction on Lieutenant General Tuko Buratai, his ambassador in Benin was, current DSS Director Yusuf Bichi was, Southeast Military Command implicated in Obigbo. Support an internationally supervised referendum on self-determination for Igbo people. The only peaceful path to ending this cycle of violence, as affirmed by the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, Article 20. In closing, Mr. President, history will judge us by what we do when genocide knocks. You have the power to stop the second Rwandan in Africa. One tweet, one sanction, one inquiry will save millions. I remain steadfast in peace, faith, and non-violence, even from a prison cell. IPOB rejects every form of violence. We seek justice, truth, and freedom. May the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who delivered Israel from Pharaoh, grant you wisdom and courage to deliver his people once again with deepest respect and urgent hope. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, leader, indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. That was Nnamdi Kanu's letter to Trump. And I bet it's probably already delivered. So in their courts today, well, when Nnamdi Kanu arrived, because he's defending himself, so he put it up to the judge that, listen, you want me to submit a written, my written submission or whatever. At the same time, you want that to be my defense. But again, I do not have any defense to put up a cooked up charm trial, which is what your media reports. So let's go see what happened. One after the other. So, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in court this morning.
Excuse me.
No, they don't want to celebrate. Who's still fighting?
Okay, what's happening?
No, I'm going to fire. I'm going to fire.
Okay.
Is
Okay. So the father agreed. No, that's what he's telling us. He's going to fire it. Yeah.
Sample commissioner for Pluto, then never. He's coming. That's what he said. Okay.
I don't know anyone anywhere.
Your man,
Very wonderful. No, nothing. Max. Get the Alhaji. Yes. Okay, thank you. Judge.
Do something, you will do it. And you're just sitting competition. And you wonder why God cost you the useless black man. You don't know what justice means. You have no idea what justice means. You don't know what justice means. Useless black African people. You don't even know what justice. Your constitution says you cannot try anybody unless the law is written. Show me the written law. Show me the written law. I want to know the written law.
Talk to me now.
Show me the written law.
Are you okay?
Don't go close. Don't try that rubbish. Don't try it. Don't try it.
Go ahead and say
Don't try that rubbish.
Say what they say.
Don't try that rubbish. Useless people. You don't know law. You don't know law. Your own constitution you don't respect. Supreme Court judgment you don't respect. Then why are we in the court of law? Why are we in the court of law, I ask? Nonsense. You think Britain can ask you to jail me and you jail me? You are dreaming. You are dreaming. I'm telling you that you are dreaming. Nonsense. You don't know law. You don't know law. Your own constitution you don't respect. Supreme Court judgment you don't respect. Then why are we in the court of law? Why are we in the court of law, I ask? Nonsense. You think Britain can ask you to jail me and you jail me? You are dreaming. You are dreaming. It's not a written law. You cannot. You cannot. You can't convict me. Are you saying? It's not possible. I'm Nnamdi Kanu. Who's going to try it? Nobody can. They've not killed them death to the person. Which law is that? Under which law is it? It's okay. It's okay.
Which law was that? There is a report. Yeah. Oh, hang on. I think I've lost one of my camera connections. Oh, I didn't see that coming. Right? But let's stay in that court. I'll come back and tell you what led to all of that. Right? And then, yeah, we'll take it on from there. First, from outside the court.
Your constitution says you cannot try anybody unless the law is written. Show me the written law. Show me the written law. Don't try it. Don't try it. Don't try rubbish. Don't try rubbish. Useless people.
Sorry, I think I've fixed it. It will make sense that I explain what happened, okay, that, you know, brought about all of that. And at the same time, I'm going to share with us from what or which kind of like a background Nnamdi Kanu is arguing his supposed sham case that they are putting up, right? So here is what happened. It's called the overview, right? It said the electrifying proceeding that took place around the time, right, was is because of the case between Kanu and them. Okay, so it is reported that Nnamdi Kanu, before Justice Omotosho, he was raising a very serious public concern over the integrity of the judicial process. Okay, questioning the jurisdiction of the court itself, and it's not just questioning it with some section of the constitution to back it up. Like, look at it, look at this, look at that. You shouldn't even be entertaining this, right? Anyway, so it's multiple actions and pronouncement made by the multiple actions and pronouncement made by the presiding judge have been widely described as unprecedented, hostile to fair hearing, and blatantly contrary to constitutional demands of criminal trial. Again, they said the judge, right, unable to state the law under which Nnamdi Kanu is being tried. This particular part of the argument is so important that, yes, you may convict Nnamdi Kanu, judge may say he should go to jail, but all of that will be illegal because there is no law or any legal foundation for it. If there is going to be any, then they will need to go. They will need to go and, repackage their charges. And first, they will first need to let Nnamdi Kanu go. And then they will now hope that they will have something on him in years to come so that they can use the active law to charge him. Do you see that now? Okay. So today, the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu demanded repeatedly that Justice Omotosho identify the specific written law under which he is being tried. So despite multiple direct requests, Justice Omotosho could not cite any written law creating the alleged offense. Instead of addressing this foundational constitutional requirement, the judge evaded the question. For the avoidance of doubt, right? So section 3612 of the Constitution, right, as amended, provides that a person shall not be convicted of a criminal offense unless that offense is defined and the penalty therefore is prescribed in a written law. So when you charge somebody, you will need to tell them under which law you are charging them. You are also going to show it to them and say, listen, if you are guilty, if you're found guilty of this offense, this criminal offense, this is what the law says will happen to you. Now, that's the foundation of any criminal case. Or if you are just saying you are trying somebody for treason, and the entire factor that you are building your case on are completely illegal, no foundation, so to say. So it's a pure waste of time. So yeah, said the judge still failed to acknowledge the use of a repealed law. How can you be using a repealed law? A repealed law is a law that they no longer uses anymore. It's like gone. A new one has replaced it. Okay? You cannot still build a case and be quoting your old law that you want to convict somebody on that. It doesn't make sense. It's a very simple thing. But it is Nigeria. They said, oh, it should just follow through. It should go and just put up a defense. It's not saying it won't put up a defense. If I get to see, if you accuse me of this, these are the allegations, the charges. Fine. Now I need to know which law you build all these charges on, because if I am guilty of all these charges, you will convict me, Abi. So I need to see that law and what that law says. Because it is through that law that you will now relate and say, see, what you said I did plus this law, how did they relate? That is what law is all about. But he kept telling them that they have no idea of what the law. So between himself and the judge, they said rather than taking judicial notice, something every judge is bound to do under the Evidence Act, Justice Omotosho sidestepped the issue. The court refused to acknowledge that no one can be tried under a repealed statute, a position anchored in Nigerian and international law. Is that not straightforward enough? No? Okay, continue. So Omotosho blocked the final written addresses. Remember, he's been asking Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to put all of his talks in writing and submit that as his own submission. Then he's going to give his judgment. If Nnamdi Kanu is not going to respond to what DSS presented, so fine. But I need you to put all these things you are saying, put them in writing and submit them. Today, Omotosho didn't want to take any written submission anymore. Because in that written submission, Nnamdi Kanu would have to quote all those things there, even though all those things already exist in the court documents. There's another fight too that Nnamdi Kanu is saying, most of the things you want to ask from me, they are already in your court files. And by your law, you are supposed to provide them and bring them out. So I'm not going to provide anything. And if you want me to put up a defense, which is maybe I'm going to present new evidence or anything, Abi, to defend myself, show me the law. It shouldn't be a law that no longer exists. Is that hard? Listen, is that something that is hard for people to decipher? Every day they are amending their constitution, they are doctoring it, fingering it, and yet it never really guaranteed a good governance in that place. No? So, according to this, they said this is widely viewed as an aberration and a dangerous departure from established criminal procedure. So final written addresses are a core component of fair trial, a mandatory stage before judgment, the primary avenue for defendants to challenge evidence and raise point of law. No credible record exists of a trial judge in Nigeria deliberately blocking final written addresses in a criminal case. Legal commentators have described this as a judicial ambush. I told you, Nnamdi Kanu has nothing to prove to them. They already have their predetermined, judgment. All these things is just like drama. So now, Nnamdi Kanu's final word to the judge today. So in response to the judge's position, Nnamdi Kanu told the court that he does not care what Justice Omotosho says because the Constitution is supreme. He stated clearly that Section 3612 of your Constitution forbids any conviction without a valid written law, and that no court can override the Constitution. So the concern and the implication for this is that why is a judge avoiding reference to the law he claims to be applying? Why refuse written addresses unless the goal is to avoid legal scrutiny of a predetermined outcome? Why is a court entertaining charges tied to a repealed law? These developments undermine public trust in the judiciary, of course, and today's events have intensified public, legal, and international concern over the fairness of this entire trial. So their conclusion, therefore, is that what transpired in court today is not a normal judicial process. The actions and statements of Justice James Omotosho reflect a troubling pattern of procedural irregularities, disregard for constitutional safeguards, and hostility to fair hearing. So, this is what triggered in the court today. I'll first have this post-court, post-court interview. Then I'm going to share with you in detail on your screen every section of Nigerian law that backed what Nnamdi Kanu is asking. No matter how much the media twisted it, we know this whole thing is, already as a predetermined end. Convict him. Binta Nyako did it, right? It didn't take long for their own court, appeal court, to see through this and didn't want to dance to that their tune. They discharged and acquitted Nnamdi Kanu. This is not different. So I'll take you through that. But first, back to that court and then at the post-court hearing too.
Your constitution says you cannot try anybody unless the law is written. Show me written law. Show me written law. Don't try it. Don't try rubbish. Don't try rubbish. Useless people. You don't know law. You don't know law. Your own constitution you don't respect. You bring forward to judgment you don't respect. That's why we the court. Why we the court of law?
Good morning.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Well, what happened in court today, for me, continues to be travesty of justice. I've always said it, that in Nigeria, there appear to be two sets of rules. One for the Igbo man and another for the other Nigerians. This is exactly what I saw in court today. First of all, my name is Honorable Obi Agocha. I represent the great people of Iguano, Umuahia North and Umuahia South Federal Constituency. I am the primary representative for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So I'm going to speak to you as a layman. I'm not a lawyer. Today, there was a motion that was filed. Previously, I believe at the end of October, another motion was filed. And none of those motions were challenged by the prosecution team. They didn't raise any objection. The court did not overrule anybody, but admitted the motion. So on what basis then is the trial, the efforts that are being put to compel Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to trial when the motions have been put and yet to be challenged by the prosecution team? Mazi Kanu is asking for a simple question: on what law is he being tried? Neither the judge nor the prosecution team have answered that. And today, that motion that was raised by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and served to the prosecution team were not challenged. And it's very, very critical and important that we know that. However, the judge now ruled to say that he's reserved November 20th for ruling, when there are jurisdictional issues, thresholds that are yet to be overcome. So this is a political trial veiled as a criminal trial. And for the stability of the Southeast and for the stability of Nigeria in a whole, to bring to end the civil war that was fought in 1967, means that the president should please look at the totality of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial and bring an end to this charade, a travesty of injustice, bring an end to it so that the Southeast can be peaceful again, Nigeria can be peaceful again. But if they are determined in the way they have steamrolled this process, rushing to a judgment, then like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu says, there's a God in heaven, and the injustices that have been meted to Igbos, we will not forget. We will not forget. Even if we forget, our children and our grandchildren will not forget. Because it's important that everybody notes it, especially Mr. President, that in order for him to consolidate his goodwill for 2027, start with how he handles the matter of Nnamdi Kanu. Because you cannot be there as the father of the nation and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being treated in the manner that he's been treated, when every other person who has been charged with almost similar offenses as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, at the determination of the court, has been let go. So why is Nnamdi still being held down, being punished, being subjugated? It's simply because he's an Igbo man. So if we get it, the president gets this right, then we will begin the process of healing and reconciliation and putting back the Southeast back as a home where people can come and feel free in their homes without running away from all these high crime and criminalities that are happening in the Southeast. So Mr. President has an opportunity now. The world is looking at us, both from the persecution of Christians, from the persecution of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to know how we are going to put our houses in order. But like I said, is one person. You can take Mazi Nnamdi Kanu if you so wish. You have the authority. But many more Nnamdi Kanu will rise because this is clearly an injustice that is being meted at one person who happens to be an Igbo man. So I plead with...
You've spoken well. And for those who live in denial, right? If Nnamdi Kanu had committed any true crime, any real crime, I don't think it's going to take them 10 years in order to find a court to convict him and jail him. Even if you want him to be jailed, if you want him to be convicted of anything that you think is like done, right? Then you should do it legally, Abi. So if you can't see through the entire compromised process, then I don't think I should be talking to you. Or maybe you shouldn't be watching this. Because if you accuse somebody of this grievous crime, then it is the onus of proof kind of is on you. You are the one to prove that he's done it. But you haven't. Not only that you've messed up the whole thing from the start, because it's a sham. Now the current one, you are being told this is not making any sense. Now to those of you who are probably interested, right? Now let me give you a bit of a background or in detail, every section of that's what they call that Nigerian law, right? That they said, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is premising his own argument on. I'm sorry if this is too tiny for you to see. Let me see if I can possibly increase the size. I don't think so. But I think you can read it, yeah? Yeah, you can read with me because I'm going to read everything. It's not that much. See, that's it. It's just the summary. Or I believe that the summary of the section that at least will guide you. Because this is the argument, okay? So the relevant sections of the Constitution of Nigeria as amended, supporting Nnamdi Kanu's argument, okay? So first, the preface to understand this, right? Nnamdi Kanu's core argument, as presented in his recent motions and court statements, right, is that the charges against him, primarily under the repealed Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act of 2013 and other defunct statutes like the Customs and Excise Management Act and all these other dragons, I'm sure you get, we'll skip that. So it said, Section 1, subsection 3, supremacy of the Constitution. Now, here is the quote of that section. If any other law is inconsistent with the provisions of this Constitution shall prevail, and that other law shall, to the extent of the inconsistency, be void. Nnamdi Kanu proving to them that if you think your Constitution is powerful, as you said, there's a section of it that actually legitimizes that. Now, how Kanu's argument is valid before Nigerian law under this section. So this section enshrines the Constitution's supremacy, meaning any charge or trial relying on a repealed statute, e.g., example, the 2013 Terrorism Act repealed by Section 97 of the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022 is inconsistent with the constitutional requirement for valid subsisting law. Kanu argues that the prosecution's failure to amend the charges post-repeal creates an inconsistency, rendering the charges void ab initio. Under Nigerian law, this voids the entire proceedings, as affirmed in INEC v. Musa 2003, where the Supreme Court held that actions under inconsistent or non-extant laws are null. Kanu's motion cites this to demand dismissal, as continuing the trial perpetuates an unconstitutional process, denying him lawful adjudication. Another section of your law in Nigeria, Section 6, subsection 6B, judicial powers and criminal jurisdiction. Your law says, in quote, the judicial powers of the Federation shall be extend to all matters between persons or between government or authority and to any persons in Nigeria, and to all actions and proceedings relating thereto, for the determination of any question as to the civil rights and obligations of that person. How does this work for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? The clause vests court with jurisdiction only over civil rights and obligations, which in criminal contexts presupposes offenses defined by extant law. Kanu contends that without a valid charge under current statutes, e.g. the unamended 2022 Act, the court lacks jurisdiction to determine its obligations under defunct provisions. Nigerian court in Madukolum v. Nkede Lim in 1962 have ruled that jurisdiction is foundational. Its absence, due to repeat loss, housed the court's power ab initio. By invoking this, Nnamdi Kanu validates its refusal to defend, as entering a defense will legitimize the jurisdictional defective trial, violating due process. The Supreme Court, Federal Republic of Nigeria versus Kanu ruling binds lower courts to recognize this via judicial notice, making non-compliance a jurisdictional error. If Nnamdi Kanu decides to put up a defense as they wanted him to, it will validate the charges. That simply means that Nnamdi Kanu can no longer say, hey, you cannot convict me under this law anymore, because he's already put up a defense. So he's saying, no, I won't. And there is a section of your law that says I shouldn't, because jurisdiction is the foundation of any criminal kind of a case. You as a court, do you think you have jurisdiction according to this your law? You don't, because there's no law that you want to act on. You are the judge. They brought a case to you, right? Before you can act on that case, you need to quote a section of your law that says, this case you're about to hear, if this person is found guilty, this is the sentencing I'm going to give him or her. Now, present before you, Mr. Judge, right? You do not have that. There is no law that you want to act on right now. So you accept if you are just going to manufacture that from your mind. But I'm not going to actually stand before you and defend anything. And there is a section of your law that says I shouldn't. Right? Now, let's continue. So there is another section, section 36, subsection 12, principle of legality in criminal offenses. Now here is the quote of that section. Subject as otherwise provided by this Constitution, a person shall not be convicted of a criminal offense unless that offense is defined and the penalty therefore is prescribed in a written law. And in this subsection, a written law refers to an act of the National Assembly or a law of a state, any subsidiary legislation or instrument under the provision of a law. So how does this help Nnamdi Kanu's argument here? So this is the cornerstone of Kanu's plea, embodying the nollum crimen sine lege, no crime without law principle. So it prohibits conviction and by extension trial for undefined or unprescribed offenses under non-extant laws. Kanu argues that the repealed 2013 Act no longer defines its alleged acts as offenses, and the prosecution's reliance on it without amendment means no written law exists, making the charges uncognizable. In Ahoko v. Fagbemi in 1961, the Supreme Court quashed a conviction under a non-statutory offense, affirming that trials under defunct laws are void. Kanu's position aligns with this, The repeal extinguishes the offense's legal foundation, halting proceedings pre-conviction, contra the trial court views that it applies only at conviction. Supported by Section 36(8), presumption of innocence, and 9, no retrospective laws, it renders its detention and trial unlawful, warranting immediate release. So the summary of this is that, you see, these sections interlock to form a robust defense. Section 1(3), Section 1, subsection 3 voids inconsistent repeal. That's an inconsistent law. That's the repealed laws. Section 6(6)(b) strips jurisdiction without valid charges. And Section 36(12) mandate extant definition for any trial. Kanu's argument is not merely procedural, but constitutionally imperative. As Nigerian law prioritizes substantive justice over form, Abacha v. Faweyemi in 2000, failure to apply them as alleged breaches fair hearing under Section 36(1) and invites appellate reversal. As of November 7, 2025, the trial court has adjourned for judgment on November 20, 2025. But these provisions substantiate Kanu's claim for dismissal and release. Now, you know what Nnamdi Kanu is requesting for by this argument, right? Nnamdi Kanu is expected to walk out of their court as a free man if Omotocho is actually a judge and there is no written script. No matter what your media currently pushes or propagates in Nigeria as we speak, in the face of law, Nnamdi Kanu has no case to answer in Nigeria, none, because they've messed it up the first time they went on to attempted to kill him, right? And as things stands, the judge, who was very much upset, angry, right, decided to say, well, I am just going to actually give my judgment. Are you going to give a judgment, mister? What kind of judgment do you want to give? Dismiss the entire thing, stop the charade, and let these criminals, the Fulani terrorists, and their sponsor that wanted Nnamdi Kanu killed, simply because he actually alerted us early enough. He wanted us to be prepared 10 years ago. Nnamdi Kanu wanted us prepared as far back as 10 years ago. What many are now advocating, defend yourself, protect yourself, defend your people, and the rest of that. 10 years ago, the Fulani oligarch, the terrorists led by the now dead Bokwari, they did everything to make you feel like alerting you of the danger coming, which majority of us are now wallowing in, right? Alerting you of this coming danger was a treasonable felony, and demanding for a peaceful, referendum where, Nigerians can decide if they still want to be part of Nigeria or not. Now things seems like going or moving faster now. Now that the Americans are now interested in the ongoing long systemic genocide that the APC, Egbekegbe, has been supervising in Nigeria. So things are about to get more, right? So MIYETTI Allah, will leave that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for a sec. MIYETTI Allah, who happen to be the sworn enemies of, who made the IPOB their sworn enemy. Because IPOB was like, MIYETTI Allah, Asao now. Why would the Fulani others become the security of vigilantes, protecting us in the southern Nigeria? Like, what kind of a BS is that? So MIYETTI Allah wanted Nnamdi Kanu killed. MIYETTI Allah wanted the IPOB proscribed, while the Fulani terrorists are running rampage all over the place, kidnapping, killing, and pillaging. So now that Donald Trump has fired the warning shot, not like literally, okay, fired the warning shot, the warning shot that the Nigerian government, who are now very much for them as well, they are drawing this long list of those that will become America's priority and target. Those who they will get physically, and those that they would actually place sanction on and get economically somewhere else. So MIYETTI is one of them. All of the atrocities of the MIYETTI, the terror they represented under the cover of Fulani herdsmen in the days of Bukwari, right, seems to be catching up. As Nigeria is currently now more or less like prescribed as a terrorist country, fortunately, right? And it may sound somehow because Trump said it, but before Trump, Nigeria has already been designated as the terrorist capital of the world. Nigerians have been, in year 2021, 2022, Nigerians were adjudged to be the most terrorized people in the world, most terrified and terrorized people in the world. So now that America is kind of showing up and everybody is putting up their own different show, defense and all that, right? MIYETTI don't cry out, say, Trump, not be all of, I mean, they actually said that, said, it is not all of us that are terrorists. There are professionals among us. Please don't target us. We support you going after the terrorists among us who have now started, I mean, who have resorted into criminalities and all that, but if the entire MIYETTI is proscribed as a terrorist organization, which is going to happen very soon. So if MIYETTI is proscribed as the terrorist organization, just like the Fulani terrorists are currently described as the fourth deadliest terrorist organization in the whole world, the Fulani terrorists. I didn't make that up. It's true, right? So MIYETTI that has been speaking for them, threatening the people, threatening state governors, threatening the people in their regions that they would have to accept, MIYETTI actually publicly threatened the people of the Middle Belt. And they said the violence was never going to stop as long as the people of the Middle Belt failed or continued not to part with their lands. Plateau State to Benue State to Taraba State to Yobe State to Niger State to all this like center like that, on and on like that. So MIYETTI became prominent, notoriously prominent, that they were issuing like press conferences, right? That government Bukwari's government was actually like supervising at the time. They will call press conferences and they will threaten the entire southern Nigeria, by the way, when the southern governors said they wanted to do, what was that? Ban open grazing, all right? To stop the movement of cows on foot, right? MIYETTI was everywhere issuing threats. And the more these governors remained adamant of like stopping this movement of cows, the more the violence escalated, right? And all through this time, Baba, these guys were living like kings. But you know something? When Tifnubu came in, unfortunately, they arrested their leader. He's still in prison right now. So the one that is saying is their representative, right, is begging Trump.
What is MIYETTI? MIYETTI is a group of foolies. So in this group of Fulanis, we have professors, we have students, we have herdsmen, we have doctors, we have governors. We also have terrorists inside, or let me say bandits inside among them. So if Donald Trump would say, or if America said they have sanctioned MIYETTI, they mean that they sanctioned the entire Fulanis or what? That is where we are not clear, because MIYETTI is just a group of people that they came together. So if Donald Trump would just go ahead and said he has sanctioned the sponsors of terrorism, if Donald Trump would said he has sanctioned the bandit, we are going to take serious. But to him to say he sanctioned MIYETTI, did Donald Trump really know what MIYETTI is? I don't think that man knows. He don't even know what MIYETTI is. What is MIYETTI? MIYETTI is
1 and 2 going to engage 3 days. Here, here, here. And
no here na cross river abi Ekureku, see Sokoto, Jos, Taraba. Now the main target be this Aso Rock.
which is this?
Here, Aso Rock.
Yes.
Now here, the main terrorist day.
Yeah. 1 and 2 going to engage 3 days. Here, here, here. And
no here na cross river abi Ekureku, see Sokoto, Jos, Taraba. Now the main target be this Aso Rock.
which is this?
Here, Aso Rock.
Yes.
Now here, the main terrorist day.
Yeah. 1 and
you running? Why are you running?
So it was more or less like MIYETTI Allah, because primarily I don't even understand what's in concern Fulani, the Fulani herdsmen and America. Let me see that they look for visa or anything. You get me now. However, they understand that if America should escalate this like it's being projected, they begin to target them one by one. Nobody's safe with that. Here you get MIYETTI Allah and their leaders who are living like one this. I mean, how many of you remember that the president of the MIYETTI Allah, the guy actually moved like a minister in Nigeria? No, he moved like a governor in Nigeria. Yeah, he drives this massive SUV, latest, right? Then he's got his own convoy. He's got this security convoys that drives ahead. Those are like kind of like from behind. And they said this is MIYETTI Allah. Ah man, Bokwari. Oh, I have to say, hell, the Bokwari supposed like they're born forever, man. It's just that it won't change anything. Man, the impunity of that time. Whatever you are seeing Tinubu and this gang doing right now, sometimes you think is probably going to dwarf what Bokwari did. That is what is called the Stockholm Syndrome. You know what I mean? Like, you would think you would never encounter something as worse as Bokwari. So while you are trying to take a breather, right? Then Tinubu happened. Now they take your breath away again. Oh my God, you have taken my breath away. They will take your life away. With all these things that will overwhelm you so much that when you look back, you just be like, I can't even remember that Bokwari time anymore. Because it's like from one endless shege to another endless shege. It's just endless. Yeah? But look at MIYETTI Allah now. MIYETTI Allah is afraid. Even the Sultan of Sokoto was summoned to Aso Rock today, as well as even a bishop of Abuja. Because the impression they are still pushing is that, listen, this whole thing is not about religion, okay? Right? But this afternoon.
Village chief. Yusuf? Yes, sir. He's a village chief? Yes, sir.
So they needed that for optics, you know, like they will say, look at the Sultan of Sokoto, look at all of them. And do you know that I actually imagined what their conversation would be like? You know, Kalu hasn't really said anything meaningful, right? So imagine when the Sultan of Sokoto gets to his office and they're like, the camera is off. And maybe the Sultan of Sokoto will be asking him that, Mr. President, what is this? What are we going to do about this Donald Trump? And Kalu in the usual way was just like, whoa. It's, Donald Trump, American president. Oh, Trump. Oh, no, don't worry yourself about that. Don't worry. We are on top of that. Because it was so fast enough that I think they went to UMAT together after meeting because it was pretty much so fast that they couldn't have had any meaningful conversation. Here you get, because a lot of them are pretty much afraid of mentioning Trump so far. And they said that you have this weekend. After this weekend, because the killing still continues. The report of people still being killed from Benue to Plateau, right? even to the heartland of the Sharia North, Sokoto, Katsina, and all these places, even Kaduna, Zamfara, the killings are still ongoing. They are not like beating, even though their new chief of army staff that technology just appointed visited one of their formation in Borno, according to this video.
This is your own time. Are you assuring me that you do your best? Yes, sir. All combat enablers have been provided for you to succeed. And I bet you will succeed beyond your own expectations. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Is that clear? Yes, sir. So,
just go ahead and get rid of these guys. Like you don't really need America, I think. Go ahead and clear them, but nah. They're spending more money on the social media influencers and trying to change the narratives. But for now that they haven't heard from Trump, it's going to give them a kind of like a breathing space for a few days until Trump speaks and everybody begins to run helter-skelter again. Right now, it is believed that Trump is not going to issue any money anymore. What's going to come next is in the next few days, right? If the killings continues, right, is going to be an announcement that something has already happened, carried out. There are reports that some of these terrorists are beginning to move to Cameroon and the rest of that. That is also APC propaganda. They are planting different news in there just to make it look. But if Americans, with their intel, feels like nothing is being done, there is no amount of propaganda that is likely going to avert what is coming. I don't think so. But the only solution to me, even to this man, is this.
Well, what I actually want the government to do, the government at both ends, is to approach this matter with sincerity of purpose and with candor. From the Nigerian end, the narrative has been that there is no religious persecution, no religious group is targeted. That is not entirely true. It is also true that the government is not directly responsible for any act of violence against Nigerian people. That has to be very clearly established. That the insecurity in the country is caused mainly by the activities of non-state actors that the government is opposed to and that the government has tried to find a way to combat in the past 15 years. These are the facts. I wish that the government sticks to the facts so that the Americans can see us as serious-minded, sincere, so we can work together to tackle this problem. I have seen how government officials in the past couple of days and weeks have labored to explain the fact, to explain that targets, violence in Nigeria is not targeted against any particular group. It's just random. It kills everybody and all that. Let me put things in context. There are various groups attacking people in Nigeria and killing people, causing violence. Some of them are simply criminal terrorists, economic terrorists who are killing everybody, kidnapping everybody to gain economic advantage. Those in Zamfara, Sokoto, and the rest who are trying to cordon off where we have gold and other minerals, creating insecurity to be able to have access to these things. They belong to this category. They don't have respect for anybody. They kill anybody along the line. But there are also groups that are targeting Christians. We must admit that. If we don't admit that, it will show insensitivity to Christians. It will also show lack of seriousness to tackle the problem. I mean, the attacks against people in Benue, in Plateau, Southern Kaduna, a whole lot of them are targeted against Christians. They kidnap priests, they kill them, they attack churches, burn them down, kill people. They choose religious holidays, Easter, Christmas, and attack. And, there is no way anybody can try to explain that away. The story is told, for instance, of the Abdullah Abubakar, I think is his name, in Plateau, the imam who shielded Christians in 2022 that the late President Buhari gave a national award. These were Christians that were attacked. Before the man shielded Christians, they had killed over 100. And the man was able to shield them, gave them protection, which was why he was praised. But if we are to reverse the trend, if the man were not an imam, if he were a pastor, he would have been killed. He would have just been among the casualties. And there are so many other instances of that, Christians are targeted. Sometimes even when they kidnap people randomly and take them to the bush, they try to get them to convert to, Islam. Some of them who are Muslims, they are given fair treatment. Some of them are even released. Those ones that refuse to, convert, they are either killed. I mean, Shaibu and all the other ones are Leah Shaibu, and we know the story is, in the public domain. So we must admit the fact that Christians are targeted by some groups. Okay. There are also some groups who also kill people indiscriminately across the country. Like when we move to the southeast, for instance, the threat against the ordinary man in the southeast is not the same as the threat against a policeman in the southeast. There is particular target against security officials in the southeast. It is true that they are killing everybody, but it's also true that they are also targeting security men and women in the southeast. If we don't admit that, we will also not be able to address the problem in the southeast correctly. Is this honesty and candor I wish the government adopts, so that we can find a solution to this problem and then address it. Okay. Then from the American end, if it is to protect lives of Nigerians, including those of Christians, is the real desire. Military attack against maybe some targets, maybe in Sambisa Forest, someplace in Borno and Yobe, will not be the solution. That would maybe degrade them to some extent. But we know the nature of terrorism. You have to be patient to be able to combat terrorism. You have to work with those who know the terrain. The Americans alone cannot do so. The plan to come and just attack some places where you have terrorists and all that will also not be the solution to the problem. So a synergy between Nigerian government and other foreign agencies countries that want to assist, including the US, will be the way to go. Denial on the part of Nigeria is not the right approach. Okay. Random attack on the part of the US against some terrorist camps and just ending it there will also not be the solution. So there has to be a way for the two sides to work together. So solution.
The best way for the two sides to work together, in my own humble opinion, is that Nigeria government must actually show the willingness, not just all this shooting. The sponsor of terrorism in Nigeria, they are known. And when I say known, they are known to the same security agents. So how do you tackle that? When America comes, you can work with America in a way that Sambisa Forest can actually be the true ground zero. Nigeria's, Sambisa Bay. It won't be Guantanamo Bay. It will be called the Sambisa Bay. All those ardent terrorist leaders, whether they come from Niger or they come from Burkina Faso or they come from the Sahel, wherever they come from, once they enter Nigeria and they are captured, they will be executed inside that place. But slowly, every terrorist captured, you build this massive camp in Sambisa. It's a death camp. Once you are captured as a terrorist on the field, you are gone. So America can put names, pictures, right, on all these terrorists and say this one is Abu Koko, Abu Kaka, Zari, you know what I mean? Like give them names and go for them one after the other. So while Nigeria provides the ground troop in the sense that here you get community to community, the sweep from one to the other like that until you reach the Sambisa ground zero. Let people see that the terrorists are not just only degraded. Their sponsors are also spending time in Sambisa Bay. Sambisa Bay will be the place where these ardent Islamic jihadists will stay. And what that would do on its own is that in the long run, right, it could actually make Nigeria unattractive to these terrorists. my own opinion. But others will be like, it's not that easy, Gary. America cannot be trusted. I was like, I right. Others are already on the streets. You get it? So they're already asking America to leave them alone. Here is also a soldier.
Yes, a soldier boy. Guys, and I see so many people, they say Trump is coming to Nigeria, US Army is coming, whatever, this, that. Una they say Nigeria Army is small. No. Like for real, una they say Nigeria Army is small. For na mind now, Nigeria Army is small. Nigeria Army, when they go outside country, go fight. When they invite them. And I'm going to say this one. See, more than learn. Nigeria Army no be Army wey be say you can't carry the play. Oh, when I don't go put body. US Army my fool. We be say US Army we be say even if I only nod now like this now not them, they don't go. Even I nodding now I give them, they don't go. Even only the weather for here, only the weather go quench them. Oh my God, I don't know anything. I swear to God. Donald Trump, my nigga, not my guy. Donald Trump, not my guy. Mona Hassan, even though no soldier boy. Not my G, not my nigga. And I don't talk to them. He say I'm mistaken, you do that tweet. Una understand now? I know they like him. Nigeria no small. Mona know they come. All of them know they come. My conversation. Hey, Nigeria, are you ready? Ready for waiting? Me, I'm always ready. Nigeria is always ready. I get me now. When I know it's when they talk, I don't like her. I'm move past you. You know I'm rich me guy. I swear to God that talk I'm move past you. I'm move past you, gege. I'm move past you. Ask anybody. See, you go argue this thing, but I swear to God I'm move past you. You don't see where they move before. Me gege. I'm move past you. I'm move past you. You know I'm rich me guy. I swear to God that talk I'm move past you. I'm move past you, gege. I'm move past you. Ask anybody. See, you go argue this thing, but I swear to God I'm move past you. You don't see where they move before. Me gege.
He's a soldier boy on social media. So he's actually a soldier at the war front and the war front in Borno or somewhere. So let's call that catching cruise. What do you think we should call this? He's a man of God and his own to his own congregation on this matter is this.
The point is, let's forget about genocide. Trump is selfish.
Very well, sir.
Did you hear that? A Nigerian pastor, a charlatan, by the way, a pulpit bandit, just opened his mouth and said, let's forget the genocide for now.
The point is, let's forget about genocide. Trump is selfish.
Very well, sir.
Trump is selfish.
Very well, my lord.
He wants Nigeria resources.
Very well, sir.
So, but he just wants to use genocide
as
avenue to take over Nigeria's government.
Oh, yes.
As the Lord said, not as man, not as security-wise. So the government, they are not supporting any. If he's doing the right thing, why not? But when the controller of heaven and earth said that he's selfish, that is why I told you that voting for Trump is like voting for trouble.
Oh yes, sir.
All the world leaders, they are going to have the pains. So it's not a matter of genocide or no genocide or this or that. It's just a matter of Trump's selfish end. He wants to make America boom. He wants to give America what he has ever done before. So the Nigerian government, what the gra things, let's just calm down. We'll start a deal process. But this one does not want it to they want to strike. Can they know Nigeria better than us?
No, sir.
So Trump, take it easy. There are things somebody does and they regret it.
Oh, yes, sir.
I'm saying what Lord has revealed to me. I'm not for anybody. As the Lord speaks, invading Nigeria, all Africans are in trouble. Don't think that it's Nigeria. Any country in Africa that has the capacity, who have resources, they are in trouble. They target Nigeria, Africa will be enslaved again. We dare not try it. We dare not allow it to happen.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
He's supposed to be a man of God. But he's a charlatan, by the way. So if he's not doing that, he's predicting the next step by Jebu. Yeah, you will see him, he will be robbing this castle. But you they call that way people they put for head, or this pope, this in that small cup. You'll be robbing it. Arsenal is going to beat Liverpool. I'm not seeing too many goals, but I see 4 goals. I saw the mumu for social media, the old man. Yeah, it's called cap. You will see me, you'll be robbing it. I mean, you'll be telling them that's what they revealed to me right now. I'm telling you that Watford is going to beat Manchester United. And I'm saying Rashford is going to get injury in the next game, except Rashford fast and prayer. So what I'm saying, okay, I can't even worry by to your long for goodness sake. Yeah. But suddenly, I mean, his videos kind of always make its way to my own timeline, and I get to see them like, people are inside that church. Remember, it was the same guy that famously said, "Titi numbu bati wole ewonu ibulo niye." Remember? Yeah, a lot of people liked him for that. They thought he's a seer, a charlatan to the core. But we'll leave that. Nigerian police. Okay, let's stay with Tifnumbu because there are those who are already pushing a vote of confidence on him. That no matter what America think, they believe that Tifnumbu is doing fine. And as a vote of confidence, those old guys with CPC, old CPC guys with Bokwari, when Bokwari was alive, the Belu Masaku of Katsina. Yeah. So then you have this Almakura, whose brother is also accused of being one of those coup plotters who wanted to remove Tifnumbu on the 1st of October 2025, last month. So they were there to give a vote of confidence on Tifnumbu and tell Trump to leave Nigeria alone. Tifnumbu is the most prepared president ever in Nigeria history. It's a vote of confidence. And I'm going to take it to Edo. Now, listen, if you haven't liked that broadcast on Maiyegun's diary Politico, you liking the broadcast is considered as you paying your offering. In the temple, it's not money. It is just that gesture. Like the broadcast, okay? It's a reminder. Then I will be back. First, the supposed elders from northern Nigeria of CPC giving the vote of confidence on Tifnumbu.
To see all the faces, to meet again and remember those good old days. And also to know that all of us are still where our leader left us. Even before his demise, he made a categorical statement but being a member of APC forever until his time came. He was in the APC. So we are in APC, we'll continue to be in APC. We were here yesterday, we are here today, we will be here tomorrow. And our support for our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is unshaken. We believe in his capacity, determination, and the courage to face the mounting economic and social problems of this country headlong. Leaders are better known during difficult times. When it is all rosy, everybody is a champion. But when it is tough, it is only the tough who get going.
That's right.
You can see toughness in Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his conviction and belief in the country, in the economic policies that will save this country imminent collapse or disaster. I am not an economist, but the picture was very clear. At least some of us are old enough to know where we have come, where we are, and where we will be tomorrow. So our resolve as former CPC members, not only to remain in APC forever, but to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu 100%, and to commit ourselves, our energy, our time, our resources, to make sure that APC wins 2027 election.
It's about next election. Even in the face of this looming America's involvement in what is going on in Nigeria, these out of tune, out of date septuagenarians who would remain to force themselves on the people and on the country, they are focusing on the next election, Joe. Some are even like using this to even build the profile of Steve Numbu to see how this is going to play out. Or more. Once Trump sort of like a back down and there's nothing, no pressure anymore and all of that, then the comeback, the Badababija of the Ronukus, right? So Numbu will just be like a superhero, super diesel, they are already plotting that. It's always about the next election. That's why they are doing everything they want now, they can now, to try to downplay the killings going on in Nigeria. Even though while they are doing that by saying it's not Christian genocide, they are killing Muslims too. They forgot that they are also indicting themselves to say, oh, a lot of people are dying under you. There is a genocide going on. Right? It's about next election. Listen to Alimakura. He's a former governor too.
Let me start by commending and congratulating the chairman of CPC chapters for making this meeting possible. When I cast my eyes across the table, I have a feeling of nostalgia of how the CPC came about. The commitment, the loyalty, and the perseverance with which we carried out the activities of our politicking despite all odds. I can see the zeal, the commitment that was there then is even stronger now. And like my brother and colleague, Right Honorable Excellency Masari has stated, I'm in total support and in line with his views expressed, especially as it relates with the achievement of this administration. The President has come a long way. We are very lucky in this country to have someone that was properly prepared to lead this country. And he has been on this project for decades. And never a time have we had a president that was prepared to lead this country as a project willingly to deliver the dividends of democracy to our people. We can see the benefits by virtue of his experience, by virtue of his exposure and competencies over time. We are lucky to have him as our president. We can see the transformation that is already taking place in various sectors. When he came on board, there were so much hardships, so much challenges. But if you look back 2.5 years and now, you can see how these problems are gradually phasing out. And I believe by the time we approach 2027, this country will be so happy, will be so appreciative that we have a president in Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who is
Of course, if you give a madman to cultivate the land, even a madman will still kind of like, dig the heart to his own side. You get what I mean? So that's them. In Anambra State, by this time tomorrow, Soludon will find out if he is going to continue to be the governor of Anambra or not. But as it stands, a lot of people believes that he's got no real opposition. It's just a mere coronation for Soludon in Anambra. And the police, according to reports, for Anambra election, the police they have deployed over 50,000 policemen to Anambra. Baba, they even have a chopper flying over Anambra. And they are telling the people of Anambra State that if you see a lot of policemen, please don't. And one thing about them is that you would think the presence of policemen will make their elections a little bit safe and credible until you start seeing policemen stealing ballot boxes. And you'll be wondering, like, what the heck is going on? They had a shopper flying over Onitsha, Oka, all those places ahead of tomorrow election. Baba, it be like it be like mold where we on the fly. Do you see how it's turning? It's like turning the hand of a trailer in the hair. That's why it's like Nigeria police helicopter. They wanted to show to the people of Anambra State that the Nigerian police, they are up to the task. They want to make sure that to maintain security to, let's go for surveillance. And they made that video. It's quite crazy, right? God knows what year that chopper was probably made or manufactured, probably 1965 or 70. Yeah. Any kind of like tough weather, if that one lies into that, Baba, you go just hear or rain. If you make it, fine. If you don't make it, you know what I mean? It's crazy. So they are doing that in Anambra. And for them, as like I said, it's like Solodom has no real opposition. So it's Apuga. 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 I kind of like that. I don't know why. I don't know what I like. If it's the passion of the guy, for somebody to be so passionate about their political party that they have an anthem. Then Apuga is an Igbo party. Now Juku party, Abi. They have their own anthem and all of that. I don't think PDP has anthem. I don't think. APC, on your mandate, we shall stand on your man. But this one seems to look like they have these local supporters, right? Apuga, that knows their anthem with passion. I don't know if it is the song that I like or the guy or both. What about you? Did you see that lady behind, that woman behind? She was singing too, with passion. Really? Political party. And you would wish the likes of Solodom to actually give them good governance in that sense. You get what I mean? Like, how could people be so passionate about us like this that they're singing, you know, we hold them, we need to give them, you know what I mean? That's not how they see it. You know? So we're talking about the police chopper earlier. Right. So you remember the fisticuff or the face-off between Omoyele Sowore and the police commissioner in Lagos when he openly declared Omoyele Sowore wanted for participating in the peaceful protest organized by the victims of the demolished homes in Oworonshoki. And upon sighting Omoyele Sowore, the Nigerian police and their agents attempted to kill him, to assassinate him. Sowore has escaped more than 25 assassinations in the hands of the Nigerian police in the last 5 years alone. You may class it as police brutality and assault. On several occasions, they've actually attempted to kill him. DSS have attempted to assassinate him 3 times. Now, all of these are like public evidence, by the way. So this police officer was reminded that you had no such power. You don't have such power. How could you declare somebody wanted without a court or a cause? And he said, no, I had the power. And he went on TV. And Baba, I actually went on TV. Watch this.
And I want to underscore the fact that I have the right to declare wanted based on my right in the Constitution. Any other person, I want you to, let me finish this bit. Any other person that said I don't have such a right should go to court. But for me to ensure public safety and public security and the protection of life and property of Lagosian in Lagos State, for which I'm charged with that responsibility, I have the right to do everything possible within the ambit of the law to sustain this. And that is why I promptly declare wanted. I don't just declare wanted. When he posted something on his ex handle, and it's there for people to verify that I have just taken a bar in Abuja, and the next point is Lagos to block the Tomiland Bridge. And we were well prepared. We cordoned off the entire area of Beggar Bus Stop in Ouro, where is designated to come and conduct this violent protest. And we ensure that we make alternative arrangement for people to use. And I equally go on here to apologize to citizens and people of Lagos that may want to use that park at that point in time, so that when they come and we're engaging, we don't have collateral damage on innocent Lagosians. So that's what we did. And subsequently, we patrol the entire of Lagos State, and we deploy everywhere that he might want to come up and cause mayhem. And when he said this, he called it make a post, and he was advancing to where we call the car wash car park within Orosoki, where he has gathered about 300 violent protesters to march towards us. So I charged him my men, and 13 of them were arrested. And we quickly recovered a vehicle loaded with a loud speaker with a generator that I want to come and use to broad the Tomiland Bridge. So I have the right under the Constitution to prevent crime from being occurred, to prevent anybody that want to take laws into their hand, to come mayhem across the country. So the IGP, I say with any doubt, has not given such an order, and he has not given it not only to me, to virtually all the police institutions across the country. What are we going to do with that? So that is mischievous and is equally investigatable, and we are going to investigate. During his interview, and it's very good, I responded to it. He said the Commissioner of Police is not competent. I'm very competent. I've been here for more than 9 months. And even in court, where the accused person show his good conduct, the prosecution sector persons to have the right to show his bad conduct. I want to make it abundantly clear that Sowore doesn't have NYC certificate because of punitive reason. He was posted to Adamawa and he was evasive. He never did the service. So such kind of person that doesn't even is qualified to bear the NYC certificate of a great country, Nigeria, will now be calling out miscreants to come and disturb the peace of Lagos. We will not allow it. So my pronouncement that is declared.
Nuisance Leleyi. Nuisance Leleyi.
Those are the weary in charge of the Nigeria police. There are many. You know, he's not quoting any section of the law that gave him the power to declare Omoyele Sowore wanted. Then he fired off when he said Omoyele Sowore did not obtain his NYSC certificate simply because of the same attitude, right? So somebody like him who didn't have, who didn't get his NYSC certificate shouldn't be coming to disrupt the peace of the Nigerians. God damn it, man. So, and those they normally use as well, eventually left to rot away after they are out of that uniform. Like these ones who were protesting yesterday. One of them actually like collapsed in front of the National Assembly. I'm coming on.
Say governors, they struggle to get pension.
No.
Say governors, they struggle to get pension.
No.
Say House of Assembly, they struggle to get pension.
No.
So why are they now struggling to get pension? And they are the one protecting the nation. If you look back now police still then they use there.
Yes.
If you look at that car, the police there.
Yes.
Why we don't get conscience? Make we get conscience now. Then come on. Does it have to take time to pass this thing?
No.
To make these people okay?
No.
35 years.
Yes.
And you want Nigeria to be good. Yes. How can a country be good when people that are serving you, you are treating them anyhow? Look at retirees. They've been sleeping under this canopy. Look, they've been sleeping under that place. And people they employ
for a month.
1 month. 1 month they've been there. 1 month. And people they employ 4 years, we get jumbo pay.
Yes.
I beg. Don't be the same way they bought them, they bought others.
Yes, so,
and we want Nigeria to be safe. How can the country be safe in this manner?
No way.
Federal government look into this matter.
Yes.
Look into this matter.
Yes,
look into this matter.
Yes,
now our people be this so.
We no get another one. Our people be this so.
Now our police be this so.
We no get another one. Our police be this so.
Treat them right, oh.
Now our police be this so.
Pay them pension.
Now our police be this so.
Pay their benefits.
Now our police be this so.
Oh, now our police.
Oh, we no get another one. Now our mama be this so. We no get another one. Only to know. Now our mama be this so. We no get another one. Now our mama be this so. We no get another one. Now our mama be this so. We no get another one. Only to know.
The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not.
Chai!
Àsìkò òǹgbẹ lọ́tún lósì ẹ̀mí ò sì káàrẹ̀ Jagaban
Me. Now, Omoyele Showore's response is next. So immediately these threats started flying up and down, left, right, and center. Omoyele Showore and his own lawyers, they approached the court. And this time, he is suing the entire police force, the IG, Commissioner of Police, and everybody that has been used as an instrument of intimidation and harassment are currently being sued by Showore to their court, even though they practically obey no court order. You know that, yeah? So here, Showore's reaction to this Dumbo Commissioner of Police.
Yo. No. Make the conversation be on phone.
7 or 8 p.m.
What did you say the time?
27 minutes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we're at the Federal High Court where we filed the against this incompetent Commissioner of Police. I'll tell you a little bit of history of me and Jim. Jim was the guy who used to work with Charade when I first started. Years ago, 2019, when he arrested the journalist who is now the publisher of People's Gazette, we went and fought for him. It was a disastrous PR. While we were there, he went and brought someone to the gas station. So I came to Lagos because he invited me. I had just left Japan. I heard that he said I cannot come to Lagos. And I said, since you said I can't, and I'm the kind of person that go to places where I'm not invited. I came to participate in a protest. This guy, one of the most loquacious, one of the most unprofessional person, was shouting on TV that nobody has the right to protest in Lagos. How can the police commissioner say that people don't have rights to protest?
And then when he discovered I actually went to the protest, he then got upset. He lost his mind and declared me wanted. We decided that we would challenge him before. That's why we went to the tribunal. And we've been here since. Our case was the last we heard by Justice Kakakiche. And he graciously granted our order, restraining them from any attempts to declare me wanted. And we are going to argue the substantive truth because I really badly need that 500 million naira. When I do get it, I will use it to buy more EBA, which is where I get my strength from. But on the strength of what I'm telling you guys, when you look at Nigeria and you see what guys pay attention to, what they prioritize, you understand why I say everybody must rise up in this country once and for all. You don't need Donald Trump to tell you that these guys are people. And Donald Trump is not different from them. Anyways, let us unite and save our country. And I volunteered myself. And all these guys you see behind me, and those of you who are behind the camera, have all volunteered yourself. You are ready to take the risk. Yes. It can't get worse than this. You are already a slave in your country. You are already submerged by poverty, by unemployment, by all kinds of health issues, from malaria to typhoid. You have been besieged with bad roads, with no schools for your children, with no salaries. Even the policemen that are involved in this, I fought for them, and 29,000 of them got promoted. But the next day they came and broke my hand. The CSP came and broke my hand. The following 2 weeks, another CSP took me to Kuje. But that's not, I'm not complaining. I have said this, my fight for justice doesn't see whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. It doesn't care whether you are male, female, you are young or old. I don't even care about your sexual orientation. I am for everybody. And it doesn't matter whether you like me or not. But I believe in our lifetime, this country deserves better. And that's why I want to thank our lawyer who drove all the way. He was driving all the way from Monday, filing this lawsuit. And now it has been heard and the judge has done justice to it. I know the next thing you say is that you not trust the judiciary. Well, the trust in our judiciary is not up to the judiciary. It is up to us, the citizens, who show up to say the judiciary must do justice. That is why I came to court personally. I don't need to be in court. And yes, if the judiciary cannot give us justice, we must bring justice to the judiciary. So, of course, I thank the judge for having the courage, even when it was late in the day and it was his last case, and he was very tired, he still took the case. But I know that they have other plans. In fact, I just read that in Abuja, the DSS was trying to declare me wanted while I was declared wanted in Abuja. I mean in Lagos, yes. Because they said I called Tinubu a criminal. And I keep saying, is Tinubu not a criminal? If he's not, has Donald Trump not proven that he's a criminal by aiding and abetting people who are killing people they say Christians? So our position is not that there's no genocide. There's genocide, but it's not against Christians alone. There's genocide against everybody in Nigeria. There's genocide against Muslims, Christians. There's genocide that is carried out by the Nigerian state systematically against Nigerian people. Hunger, starvation, corruption is the source of genocide. That in itself is genocide. Starvation of people deliberately is genocide. Paying people peanuts instead of salaries that can make them live is genocide. Destroying people's houses that they labored and sweat to build is genocide, because most of those people who don't have houses will go and kill themselves, or something will kill them. When you kill somebody's source of livelihood, you have committed some kind of genocide. But they want the United Nations definition of genocide. But we are telling you that this is our own traditional definition of genocide, because we do know genocide now we say one. Yes. Lawyer, you can take over.
Opportunity.
So I didn't get the right one. Somebody requested for that, and I had to use that in the the break. So Mayele Showore is letting you know that Donald Trump is not going to come and save you as much as you probably would want him to, until you are willing to save yourselves, because there's going to be that lacuna, and if you don't grab it, it's also going to be a generational miss again. Another generational miss. I am going to take you to Boko in Benue State, where people were protesting, calling on their governor to do something, because they have been coming under constant attacks, right? Even after Donald Trump's tweet, the one that has rattled the Nigerian officials. The terrorists seem still like unbothered, and people want government to act. This one was today in Boko, Benue State, due to the recent killings that took place, where even Okada riders are now complaining of, their members being not only being, robbed of their bikes, they were being slaughtered by these terrorists. And bikes is one very much like, instrument or tool of these jihadists, since we have been seeing them, right? So most of those bikes were not bought. Their owners were killed and their bikes taken for the advancement of their jihad. So the people of Boko today.
Diabari through me go for him pen jana. Mahaya do a hip pen higan. I want vengan you. Now she got protest, so she can give no Pampaga. Is a good idea to have a trip 100 Karanga, Wolo, Motu Paco Clapacho Karanga. Eka one, we can gain you. I want we can gain you. Again, but you want again, you wallow, you than a top, but you maybe. I do want it. Who somebody yarn a question about Yarango, Kanga Hahigan, all the trick might mean 100 ya. But I attack your club, but don't, Oga. What kind of money not talk, but what I do, what I can in ya. I'll book a hip and a higan. I'll be so run about book of generally for strategy or Karanga. Nigga, by Yarangelo, Toto, charge at you. My Yaran. My Yaran Nangaha. Mara. I'll book a hip and a general. Ina Figo. Mazalo Kwana and Ina Figa. Who's the Nangahaqua? Number one of more and more. Those are William Kiran Hajo and Nick Belayo to do. Oh, I got one pen, o'clock to Oga. It is my higher more.
Yeah, that's them protesting. They're just gathered in that same place. And they've got leaves, plucked leaves attached to their bikes as being participants of the protest. So similarly, the women and the people of Sakinoma, there's a place called Sakinoma Kiana in Nasarawa State. They were also protesting the killings that took place in their own communities, especially in the last 1 week. They were also on the streets. Here.
Kinoma, if you are going to Makodi right now, no roads from Makodi to Abuja. No road, the road is blocked. There is a heavy protest in Kinoma before Kadorku. Ongoing protests. These people were killed yesterday night by kidnappers in Kinoma.
They don't start again, no people don't care again.
Just enter person's house, kill him for waiting no. Just like that though. Kidnappers everywhere, kidnapping. Look at where human be life, and they carry the person go. Just kill them, waste their life.
I mean, these are all the compiled evidence that got the American Congress or congressmen interested, or evidence enough for them to push further, that puts Nigeria on the CPC. This evening, a team bus, they call it an evangelical team bus, traveling through Kwara, was attacked by another set of terrorists, Kwara State. They were shot at. One person was injured, one of the passengers was injured, but they managed to escape their attackers. It would have been a different story. Travelers kidnapped, but they escaped. Here is the aftermath. This one happened this evening.
Whoa. Buruku. What target tire? Ṣé say more? Don't you say? Ṣé kò sẹ́yìn mọ̀ ọdún ṣèṣe? Ṣé kò ṣáà? Ọmọ ọjọ́ láì ṣáà yìí. Mọ́tò ṣọ́ọ̀tì jẹ́ ìṣá. Ọmọ. Wọ́n ní ìrò bẹ́ẹ̀. So this is a vehicle that was targeted along the way to Obo. Along the Eruku to Obo road. So it was this night. According to those that were in the vehicle, they said it was on both sides. Like the bandits were on both sides. So it seems they shoot from both sides. So according to them now, one person is injured and is in Porto Hospital here. So, possible, Ben? Possible. Honda.
After Shagbe Lando.
Oh man, you know. See blood.
Nigeria's reality. The one they want you to pretend that it is not that bad. Stop spoiling Nigerian name until it happens to somebody you know. It could be anybody you know inside that bus too, traveling from Oyo State to Kwara State. Until they got to that Kwara, they got to that part, and the terrorists opened fire on them. The driver managed, one person got shot, and they took the person to the hospital. That was them now, explaining what they just experienced. It would have, it could have been a different story right now. The news would have been different, like, terrorists kidnapped a whole passenger, so the entire passenger of a bus, something like that. And then they will be demanding for 100 million naira, 200 million naira ransom, which they will get some of it without any arrest. Onto the next victim, onto the next one. As for those who are doctors, right? As Nigeria is suffering from what is called the brain drain. One of the things that actually works against the progress of young Nigerians, the systemic corruption. Some of them have affected the careers of so many other young people that they ended up where they never even wanted to be or where they shouldn't be. The other day we were talking about the dentistry students of, I think it was a Delta or so, that were protesting that the school wouldn't graduate them because they recruited, or should I say they admitted more dentists than the quota given to them at the national level, right? Same thing is happening in Jos, and these hundreds, if not thousands of them, students, are not going to graduate as a dentist from the dentistry or so. So they protested to find out and demanded for answer from their school management. Rather, they were met with hostility as usual. Police shooting at them. Their fellow students who were man who were attacking them. Yeah? All of that happened yesterday in Jos.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
Come now.
No. If you come here. What's the meaning of that? Kill us, oh! They want to kill us! They want to kill us! They want to kill us! Stop pushing! Stop pushing! Stop pushing! Can you imagine? 10 years or something! 10 years or something! 10 years! 10 years! We are not selfish! We are not selfish! Ever! It's not a loser! A gentleman no do! 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 We not go agree! I said we not go agree! 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 We not go agree. We not go agree. We not go agree. We not go agree. I said this girl yesterday. She said she's one of them. She's the one from yesterday. This boy with see this boy with this problem. Jesus. Can you imagine? What's wrong with this guy? People should beat him. Beat him. Why did he push? Why did he push? They hired out. They hired out. Hey, Jesus, now. See him. They hired out. They are throwing tear gas at us. Somebody said it. See, they are throwing tear gas. Hope you can see. Nigerians, hope you can see.
Why you running? Why you running? Why you running?
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people approving. People should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to foreseen circumstances that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in hunger because some people will be at indoor. There's no a way to make a home.
It's a sad situation, right? The Nigerians of all classes have lost their right to protest, their right to gather and express their displeasure peacefully. They've lost that right in what is supposed to be a democracy. On that, everybody is going to be a victim. Everyone. Eventually. Like these guys who tried to arrest somebody in Osun, they are Motekun.
Tó bá wọlé tó bá tilẹ̀ kò ní dá o.
Bàbá ìbẹ́ sáà ìlú tọ́.
Yes. Yeah. Ilé ìjà rere gan-an.
Things are getting better for Nigeria. Things are getting better. For Asiwaju is on the throne. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Mr. President, things are getting better. Hey, I said things are getting better for Nigeria. For Nigeria is on the way. Progressive government. Things are getting better. Asiwaju, congratulations.
Amotekun, who are supposed to be in our forests, going after the Fulani terrorists, because they are not allowed to carry like proper automatic rifles. They are now holding sticks, cutlasses, going after debtors. Or if you are fighting with your girlfriend, you're fighting with your boyfriend, you can invite Amotekun. They can come with canes, sticks. Depends on how violent your boyfriend is. They may need to bring extra, which is like a cutlasses. But if your boyfriend was that kind of like guy you saw in that video, you hear the neighbor. And you buff let's say, shoot him, shoot his leg, neighbor. If I am fighting people like that and my neighbor are saying that Amotekun should shoot me in the leg, that will be my last day in that compound. I need to move away from that compound for my own safety. Now, that is just, by the way, I would love to take you through the BDP madness. However, it's late now, okay? I should use the whole 3 hours. It's been a long time we've had that, okay? But don't worry, we are coming back gradually. So there will be a time, right, that we're going to have our full 3 hours. It's been an interesting evening. Brethren, thank you for your time up to this point, okay? Like the broadcast, share it. If you joined us towards the end, you can just put that arrow back and watch it from the start. I'm going to see you another time, dear Templars. Thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And a good night from here. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun diary Politico. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òkúra olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ̀ bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé.